Tony Beets has been the heart of Gold Rush for years, but things have taken a heartbreaking turn. After his wife was hit with a devastating diagnosis, Tony is stepping away from the spotlight to focus on family. Behind the cameras, the once unshakable miner is facing personal battles and legal troubles that might even lead to jail time. But what truly happened to Tony Beets's wife and her tragic diagnosis? And why is he saying goodbye? The name Minnie Beets evokes strength, partnership, and legacy. For many years, she has stood alongside her husband Tony Beets, the larger-than-life miner known on Gold Rush as the Viking. They have built a family empire in the Yukon, Canada. Minnie didn't just play a supporting role, but she managed the finances and administration and kept the mining operations grounded while Tony took on the machinery, risk, and spectacle. In recent months, there have been rumors swirling online. It seems like Tony Beets is saying goodbye after his wife's tragic diagnosis, and the family legacy is in jeopardy. It looks like a tragic turn for a woman who had been strong and steady for many decades. There has been news about Minnie's illness, especially since it seemed like Tony Beets was saying goodbye to the big screen. Viewers noticed changes in his energy and on-screen presence. Some viewers noticed that he seemed less hands-on, stepping back from his usual intensity, and thought that it was a sign of a serious family crisis. He also revealed that his pace was changing and he was shifting more responsibility to his children. But Tony has revealed that he's not actually saying goodbye and that his wife doesn't have a tragic diagnosis. Instead, it was his family dog that passed away after they had raised it for many years. This emotional weight fell on their family, affecting Minnie and his children. It seems like Minnie and Tony are navigating the natural progression of life with the rigors of hard mining work, age, shifting roles, and a beloved pet's death that tugs at the heartstrings. Tony also admitted that his reduced presence is due to age and the demands of Yukon mining, and so he is preparing his children to take on greater leadership. The relationship between Tony and Minnie remains great, and he's assuring fans that he's not walking away. The passing of the family dog adds a lot of weight to the family's emotional life. What might have been seen by fans as a sign of deeper trouble was just factors like aging, change, and grief. Minnie, who over the years has balanced business, family, and the stresses of remote mining operations, felt the loss. This is especially because she is a central figure in the family business and on Gold Rush. She is part of this transition, stepping up in some ways and stepping back in others. She plans to allow the next generation to carry the torch while she supports behind the scenes. Although Minnie Beets doesn't have a tragic diagnosis, fans are still questioning whether Tony Beets is saying goodbye because of other reasons. For many fans of Gold Rush, the image of Tony Beets as the unflinching Viking of the Yukon, crushing rock, pushing heavy machinery, barking orders, and hauling gold out of the earth has been a constant for years. But lately, viewers notice something different. The grizzled Dutch-Canadian miner seems to be less hands-on, and there are signs of slowdown. Fans are wondering, is Tony Beets saying goodbye? Over recent seasons, the shifts have been small but noticeable. Viewers have observed that Tony appeared less frequently in major roles like hauling gear or leading teams. His screen energy is measured, his tone is quieter, and his physical presence is less dominant. Now, online forums and social media threads picked up on this. Fans are asking, is he okay? Is he done? The speculation ranges from a new generation takeover to age or health concerns. Others guessed Tony was gradually bowing out to let his children, Monica, Kevin, and Mike, take the reins of the family empire. One of the key triggers was when Tony publicly revealed that he's now changing how he worked. He spoke openly about the wear and tear of years of demanding labor in the Yukon's rugged conditions. He admitted the physical toll had become more real and that he was adjusting his rhythm. That kind of admission, combined with visible changes in his role on the show, fueled the belief that he might be saying goodbye. In response to all the rumors and news, Tony finally came out to state that he's not saying goodbye permanently to the industry. While his operational role is naturally evolving, his involvement remains firm. In an interview he said, "I'm still living the dream. I'm not done yet." He stated that the legacy of the Beets operation is entering a new phase. His children are stepping up, but he's not saying goodbye permanently and leaving the field. He is deliberately shifting responsibilities, entrusting more of the hands-on leadership to Monica, Kevin, and Mike, while he continues to oversee strategy, support, and big-picture decisions. Tony explained that after decades of high-intensity mining, he is updating his role as part of his choice. He wants to ensure that the family business and legacy remain strong into the future. He's still present, still part of the show, and still mining, but just doing it in a different way. It's not about retiring or stepping back, but more about transition. Tony's declining hands-on presence doesn't mean he's fading away. Instead, he's going from a frontline miner to a mentor. The Beets mining empire was built by Tony's grit, and it's now being carried forward by the next generation with his guidance. Fans are anticipating this change. Those who admired Tony for his daring runs, heavy equipment mastery, and unfiltered style might want to see him at the center of every action. But in truth, handing over the wheel can be another stage in the world of Gold Rush. Although Tony Beets is stepping back in the industry, fans are still watching how Minnie and his family will remain involved in the show and mine, and whether they will eventually say goodbye. Everyone knows that Tony Beets didn't achieve today's success and fame alone, but with a family that stands behind him. At the core of that family is Minnie Beets, which is why fans were worried that he was saying goodbye after her tragic diagnosis. His children, Monica, Kevin, and Mike have also participated in creating a multi-generational mining operation built on shared vision, mutual trust, and hands-on involvement. From the moment Minnie Beets stepped off the farm in Friesland, Netherlands, and joined Tony in Canada, she became more than just the miner's wife. She has served as the bookkeeper and business administrator for the family's mining operation at Paradise Hill. Her role isn't ceremonial, but she keeps the accounts, manages paperwork, and ensures the back-office side works, while Tony and the crews manage the heavy equipment and field operations. The division of labor has allowed the Beets family to operate with tight internal control and coordination. On the field side, the children of Tony and Minnie are visible partners in the family business. His daughter, Monica Beets, has been featured in the mining scenes on the show, operating machinery and managing in the field tasks. His sons, Kevin and Mike, are also taking key roles in the operation. The family dynamic here is more than a public spectacle, but it shows that they are passing their knowledge and responsibility to a younger generation under the oversight of Minnie's steady administrative guidance and Tony's tactical leadership. Together, the Beets family isn't just a mining crew, but now a family enterprise. They started with fewer claims and simpler operations, and over time expanded their footprint in the Yukon to multiple claims and larger equipment. Tony's operations have grown into one of the most significant placer gold businesses in the Klondike region. The fact that Minnie manages the business side while the children handle operations strengthens cohesion and continuity. The business doesn't rely entirely on Tony Beets, but on the entire family. The Beets family keeps most of the operation in-house instead of relying on external partners or letting outside management run operations. Although the family has been working hard together, they have been dealing with family clashes and some scandals about how Tony Beets treats the crew. Tony Beets and his family have dealt with shocking scandals, especially because of Tony's attitude. In recent seasons, Tony's son Kevin has left the main family operation with a move that many viewers interpreted as evidence of serious clashes over decision-making. According to an interview, Tony admitted that Kevin left because the two of them were clashing over how the family business should be run. The father-son conflict seems to be because of their different visions and independence. Kevin grew up within the family empire and wanted to test his own leadership and mining style. While Tony wanted to stick to his traditional hard-driving approach, Tony described Kevin's departure as a natural moment and said, "Kids aren't kids anymore. They are adults. They have to make their own decisions." The narrative on the show had Kevin negotiating his own deal with Tony, leasing ground under his father's empire as Tony received a percentage of royalties. This move shows both the tension and Tony's desire to hold on to some control while giving Kevin some space to operate. Aside from the family tension, Tony's demanding management style has also caused some scandals within the show. Former crew members and fans described him as expecting his employees to learn by making mistakes, which he gets angry and vengeful about instead of teaching them skills. The show also revealed some moments when Tony was too harsh on his employees. One reported incident involved his daughter, Monica Beets, when he demoted her on-screen for a machinery breakdown that Tony claimed she should have prevented. Although reality TV always amplifies drama, it showed how strict Tony Beets is when taking care of his team. His stern, no-nonsense, and unforgiving attitude has earned him respect for results, but also criticism for work culture. Crews working under Tony are more like high-stakes production lines where mistakes can cost more. Aside from the issues with his family, Tony found himself in hot water when he started facing legal issues that caused some to question whether he would finally say goodbye to the screen. The problem started in October 2014 during filming of the reality TV series Gold Rush when a subcontractor working for Tamarack Inc. poured gasoline into a dredge pond at a site near the Indian River in the Yukon and ignited it. The episode later aired in February 2015, and it eventually attracted attention from environmental enforcement authorities. After the broadcast, the Territorial Department of Energy Mines and Resources in Yukon launched an investigation. Minnie Beets and Tamarack Inc. were charged under the Yukon Waters Act with allowing the deposit of waste into a water management system. Tamarack additionally faced charges for failing to comply with the water license. During court proceedings, testimony indicated that the subcontractor had asked Tony for permission to pour the fuel and that Tony had responded saying he didn't give a care. On May 17, 2017, Beets and Tamarack Inc. were found guilty of the charges. By August, they handed down fines. Tony was personally fined CAD $6,000, while Tamarack Inc. was fined CAD $25,000, bringing the total to CAD $31,000. The judge said that the fine was meant to send a message that environmental violations would not be treated as the mere cost of doing business. During sentencing, the judge also pointed out that Tony had been actively involved in the filming, could have halted the stunt, and showed no evident remorse. The court rejected the defense argument that the gasoline did minimal damage, and said that even small intentional deposits of waste into water are unacceptable under the license and regulations. Tony tried to file an appeal, arguing that the fines were unduly harsh and disproportionate to the minor nature of the offense. His appeal also said that the judge erred in his findings, but he didn't win and the original ruling and fines were upheld. Although this happened, Minnie Beets remains famous with Gold Rush, and fans can't forget how this reality TV show got popular. Minnie Beets' rise to fame on Gold Rush is a story of grit, bold decisions, and show-stopping machinery. Born in Wildsteens, Netherlands in 1959, Tony left farm life behind and made his way to the Yukon in Canada to pursue mining. His appearance on the Discovery Channel's Gold Rush started in Season 2 when he first appeared as a guest, giving advice to fellow miner Todd Hoffman about drilling test holes and operating machinery. But something about Beets clicked with viewers, like his unmistakable personality, his hands-on mining philosophy, and his willingness to take risks. Fans were also interested in his big move to revive and operate an enormous historic dredge. In Season 5, Tony purchased a 75-year-old bucket dredge for about $1 million, one that hadn't run in decades, and set about restoring it in the Yukon. It's this dredge that earned the name Viking Dredge, echoing Tony's nickname, the Viking. The nickname was derived from his no-nonsense demeanor, long beard, and the Dutch heritage blended with Yukon grit. The Dredge project showcased Tony's mining expertise and boldness in transporting and reassembling a massive machine in one of Canada's most challenging regions and then putting it into operation. The visuals of that risk paid off in gold and built his reputation on Gold Rush. Over the seasons, Tony became a central figure on the show. He wasn't just a guest, but a leader of a major mining operation handling large-scale equipment, high stakes, and family crew dynamics. His style is sharp, direct, and tough, and was both admired and criticized, but also television-worthy. But before he came on Gold Rush, he was only a miner and was achieving a lot of success. Minnie Beets' path from humble beginnings to becoming one of the most recognized miners in the Yukon is a testament to grit, determination, and an unyielding work ethic. Born on December 15, 1959 in Wildsteens, Netherlands, Tony was raised on a farm where hard work, discipline, and hands-on labor were part of daily life. In the early 1980s, Tony and his wife Minnie made the bold decision to move to Canada in pursuit of better opportunities. Initially, he worked in construction and oil pipeline jobs in British Columbia and Alberta. But something bigger caught his attention. The promise of gold mining in the Yukon, where he heard miners could earn about $1,000 per week. Motivated by more than just money, he was drawn to the challenge, freedom, and the thrill of the hunt. By 1984, Tony had relocated to the Yukon, specifically to the Dawson City region, and began working as a machine operator in gold mining operations. He started from the bottom, and he learned the machinery, terrain, logistics, and harsh realities of placer mining. He also braced cold weather, remote locations, huge equipment breakdowns, and long hours. Over time, Tony gained experience, built his reputation, and increased his responsibilities. He climbed the ranks from an operator to a foreman, then supervisor, and finally owner. He acquired his own claims in the Yukon's Klondike region, including the popular Paradise Hill and Tamarack operations. He became known for his bold moves such as purchasing and reviving large historic gold dredges and running massive multi-plant operations. Traits that distinguished him from many of his peers. Today, Tony's mining empire spans multiple claims, large equipment fleets, and a family-run structure in the Yukon. He is respected for his hands-on knowledge, his willingness to take risks, and his ability to scale operations in one of the most challenging mining environments on Earth. Although he has gained fame, one thing that some fans love and others hate is his leadership style. Tony Beets' leadership style is unmistakably bold, uncompromising, and results-driven. From the rugged terrain of the Yukon to the glare of reality television, his approach offers an unfiltered look at the way he runs his mining operation. At the heart of his style lies directness and accountability. As he puts it, do yourself a favor and get out of bed every morning and be very serious about what you do. He expects his team to dig in, to take ownership of their tasks, and to accept that gold mining means long hours, hard decisions, and no room for slack. Another statement he says is, gold mining is a hands-on operation. If you're not out there every day, it's not going to happen. Tony also embodies a risk-taking, big vision mindset. One of the signature examples is his revival of a massive decades-old dredge in Yukon. This was an investment many considered crazy, but one that he believed could pay off. His belief was that when everyone else is avoiding risk, you may find the reward. He once said, when you do a big project like rebuilding our dredge, there are always a lot of experts around. I'll just go and do it while you're thinking. In practice, his leadership is also very hands-on and operational. While he delegates, he remains deeply involved in major decisions of the mining operation like equipment acquisitions, site strategy, and cost management. He also explicitly says he is harder on his children than on employees. He said, "I'm harder on them than I would be on any employee. I work them hard and I expect a lot, but I pay them fair." But it was this that caused conflict between him and his son Kevin. Despite this, he has been criticized by many fans, some of whom call him micromanaging, impatient, and blunt to a fault. Yet, for all its toughness, what Tony wants is for his legacy to continue. Tony Beets has built a legacy built on ambition, hard-earned experience, and the pursuit of gold in one of the world's harshest mining regions. Born in the Netherlands and later moving to Canada's Yukon to make his mark, Tony transformed from a machine operator into a mining powerhouse, eventually bringing his family into the fold and becoming a symbol of what raw determination can achieve. On the show, Tony stood out not just because he was finding gold, but also because he's taking on large-scale projects that other miners wouldn't touch. He invested where others hesitated. His no-nonsense style, sharp directives, and visible results gave him the nickname the Viking and made him a fan-favorite character who stands for real outcomes. Beyond the show, his influence runs deeper. Tony has helped shape public perceptions of modern placer mining in the Yukon, showing how high-risk investment, family-run operations, and bold machinery moves still matter in the age of television. His ability to blend the grit of mining with the reach of the media has extended his impact far beyond the claims he operates. Although Tony Beets isn't saying goodbye yet, he is planning to take a step back and plan his retirement. How long do you think Tony would be on the big screen? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. So, thanks for watching this video and we will see you in the next one.